Good morning to everybody, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to give welcome. The conference organized by the Slovak Cancer Research Foundation at the occasion of the World Cancer Research Day. It's written in the Slovak, but the auspices under this conference is under the auspices of the Speaker of the Slovak National Parliament. We yesterday visited the Parliament, and there is a lot of greeting from the side of the Speaker to our conference, and to wish a lot of success. Allow me at the beginning to invite here to the floor the famous Slovak actress Božidara Turzonová, and she is a voice of our foundation. It is a voice of the hope. Please, Barbara.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Príjemné dobré ráno, vážené dámy, vážení páni. Dnes je 24. september, Svetový deň výskumu rakoviny. Dovolte mi preto, aby som sa vám prihovorila parafrázou myšlienky profesora patológa Stevena Ištván Hajdu z jeho knihy Milníky v histórii rakoviny, že liečba rakoviny bola do roku 1970 skôr umením a prípadný úspech liečby sa pokladal za majsterstück. Trvalo dlhých 25 rokov, vlastne jednu generáciu, kým príspevky zanietených výskumníkov a prezieravých praktických lekárov umožnili posunúť oblasť onkológie od umenia k vede. A dnes, ako by sa kruh uzavrel, za motto vašej konferencie Nadácia pre výskum rakoviny ste si zvolili sentenciu: tam, kde sa veda mení na umenie, stáva sa liečba rakoviny jej majstrovským dielom. Umenie je aj schopnosť vnímať, intuitívne vyciťovať nuancy, tvoriť z detailov zmysluplný celok. Umenie nám dáva nádej tam, kde vládne neistota. Chcem veriť, že túto magickú moc má aj medicína, keď sa pri liečbe rakoviny povýši na úroveň umenia s jeho transcendentálnym rozmerom a onkológia nebude len medicínskym vedným odborom. Vážené dámy, vážení páni, prajem vám, aby vám konferencia prebiehala v inšpiratívnom duchu, aby ste získali veľa nových podnetov a poznatkov a aby ste sa dobre cítili. Ľudia vkladajú veľkú nádej do vašich výskumných úspechov a túžia po nich. Sú totiž pre nich životne dôležité. A v tom vnímam osobne vaše privilégium a mimoriadnu zodpovednosť. Ďakujem vám za pozornosť.
Thank you, Božidara, for your very nice words. And because Professor Kerena has a duty in the Ministry of Development in Austria, he sent us the recorded greeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished colleagues, dear friends, it's a great honor and privilege for me as a member of the organizing committee to welcome you to the World Cancer Research Day in Bratislava today. This conference is very important for all of us. International and Slovak experts explore multidisciplinary approaches to comprehensive cancer care, supporting the Comprehensive Cancer Center accreditation and National Cancer Mission Hub creation. The event shares the latest developments ranging from basic and translational research to clinical applications, covering topics such as tumor biology, the utilization of international healthcare data and innovative approaches, including AI in cancer treatment. The program highlights our conceptual and strategic collaboration between academic and clinical institutions, the roles of comprehensive cancer centers and national cancer mission hubs, rehabilitation and rehabilitation featuring best practices from abroad, including domestic initiatives in non-communicable diseases. A short example from our field. 25 years ago, exercise was a contraindication, an absolute contraindication. After changing paradigm, today we know that exercise during cancer treatment and after cancer treatment is effective and safe and beneficial. Rehabilitation is beneficial, effective and efficient. Rehabilitation can be beneficial and effective in many cases. Pain reduction enables mobility and targeted exercise during and after cancer treatment. Today we therefore urgently need a collaboration, joint project and multi-center studies dealing with endurance and strength exercise therapy in cancer patients, in cancer rehabilitation, cancer rehabilitation, but also concerning physical therapies and modalities for cancer such as spa therapy for cancer, and a collaboration, joint projects and multi-center studies dealing with effectiveness, efficiency and sustainability of these issues. Today, we all are open for joint projects and collaboration. Therefore, I wish you a great and constructive conference and look forward to an optimized clinical and scientific network. Thank you.
Okay, now I can ask my colleague from the foundation, Maria Dushinska, to share the next blog.
Good morning. It is my great pleasure to introduce our first speaker of our first session, head of Karolinska Comprehensive Cancer Center, Eva Joly, and she will tell us how the policy can be strengthened through Comprehensive Cancer Center and mission hubs. Eva, floor is yours.
So first of all, I would just like to say that I'm very happy to be here in this beautiful town of Bratislava. I would like to thank the organizing committee for the invitation and the possibility to share some of the thoughts and also experiences that we have, both from the Karolinska Comprehensive Cancer Center perspective, but also through the different EU initiatives that we are now currently working together in for trying to see how we can better together work towards a more equal access to quality, high quality cancer research, cancer care, and also a high proportion of patient collaboration and involvement in this field. So yes, I am representing Karolinska Comprehensive Cancer Center. We are based in Stockholm, Sweden, up north in Europe. And I think that also sharing, I mean, we are not maybe considered as a small member state, but almost. We are 11 million inhabitants and a long country, so we do have challenges that I think that we can somehow share with also with Slovakia. Even though I think that being part now of many of the ongoing EU initiatives in cancer care and research, Sweden has been a bit slow on getting into these projects. Not so much from the research side, I would say there we have been very active, but maybe more on the policy and infrastructural way. I think that many of the countries up north think that we are self-sufficient and we don't need to learn from others, and that I would say is a totally misunderstanding and wrong. We have a lot to learn, and I think it's the only way to moving forward is through collaboration and learning from each other, also sharing your experiences. So that is kind of the essence of my talk today. So yes, just do it like this. We believe that Europe's Beating Cancer Plan has been a very important step forward on, thank you, that's perfect. Together with the Mission on Cancer through the Horizon program, this has served as guiding frameworks, both on a national level for the different member states in Europe, but also for bringing us together, working together, not only on a national level, but also together on a European and also more international level. So this talk is also about the more European context of cancer care, because we are so dependent on each other. So what is happening in one member state will also affect, hopefully in a fruitful way, or the neighboring countries in the region, but also throughout Europe. So many of the ongoing projects right now that the EU is funding is about collaboration. It's about support to strengthening collaboration and moving us forward together. And I don't think that this is kind of, I do believe that there is a master plan from the EU Commission that's trying to have all of these different initiatives about networking to try to see how can we facilitate us coming together, working in a bigger community towards the goals of the EU's Beating Cancer Plan and Cancer Mission. So why do we need collaboration? And I think that many of you can give also examples, but we know that cancer care or the cancer field is a complex system to get it all work. And I think the initial comments or the talk we heard about this being an art and us working together, and now with the successes we see, we cannot work in silos. It's so complex, so we need the collaboration, but also involvement from different stakeholders and different fields coming together. So we say that we need to collaborate on multiple levels, but also with multiple professionals and disciplines coming together. And then, of course, we get more and more evidence that patient involvement is contributing and also strengthening both the research and the development of care. So many of these projects ongoing now is also demanding that we are looking into how can we facilitate and how can we level the involvement, but also collaboration with patients and their families. And then I come back to this with international collaboration, because I think some countries might think that we have it all. And I do believe that no country have it all, because cancer don't have any borders. We say that all the time. And we need to learn from each other. We need also to see how can we provide more equal access both to quality cancer research and care. Because if we don't go beyond our borders, we know that this is impossible. So also many of the projects are looking into this. How can we how can we facilitate and enhance the cross-border movement of knowledge, but also of patience if that is needed. And yes, we think, I think we can agree on that, that together we can create better things. This is not always easy. Working in many European initiatives, I do see that we do have different cultures and habits, and how do we work together. So that's also a learning to do that. And I think that through when you have important things of working together, this is more easy to overcome the differences. Not only talking, but actually working and acting together. So I represent a comprehensive cancer center, and in the EU Beating Cancer Plan, there is one of the goals is to have one comprehensive cancer center in each member state of Europe. And this is, the goal is also that this should happen quite soon, by 2030. And why is it important to have this kind of centers that combine research, care, education and innovation? This is also what we have learned in Stockholm at Karolinska, that it is really because we are better together. If we are working in the silos with more basic research and not having the possibility to translate into real cancer, where the cancer care and the cancer patients are, I mean, it's kind of useless. You can have fantastic results, but how do you translate it? How do you translational research? How do you perform clinical research, but also into clinical practice? And when we built up the comprehensive cancer centers, we had the famous Karolinska Institute that were really one of the highest cancer research outputs in Europe. And we had the Karolinska University Hospital working on cancer care and also translational and clinical research. But when we built the Comprehensive Cancer Center, we saw that not only clinicians and researchers came closer, but also the decision makers, the leaders are coming together, writing the policies, writing the strategies together. We didn't do that before. Before we had the different silos. And also, in every step, we decided that we wanted to have patient representatives within, both on a more operational level, but also on the strategic level. So we see that this is also happening when someone is looking into your organization or to your cancer center and putting some quality standards that you want to fulfill. You need to start thinking about what you are actually doing and how you are doing it. And we see that this is really happening. So both with I would say, research, but also the training and education is also influenced now by much more multidisciplinary thinking and also involved the view of and the experience of patients. And I think that on a national level, the role of a comprehensive cancer center is also to be a national contact point. In Sweden, as I said from the beginning, we are a kind of small member state. We have 11 million inhabitants, and now, being first out as a comprehensive cancer center, we have inspired the other university and university hospitals to go on the same route. So today we have actually 5 comprehensive cancer centers in this small country. And I would say if we did not share and help each other, this would not have been possible. So also on the national level, I think you can take a responsibility and work together. So what have we learned? Yeah, I think we can say that we have learned a lot during these years. We have been a comprehensive cancer center. Both, of course, that we had excellence before. I wouldn't say nothing else than that. But coming together, we do see a lot of more translational research. We see more involvement from patients. And I think this is what we are also, when we sat together a month ago with the leaders, all of the leaders of the board of directors, the leaders from the research field and the care field, and with patient representatives, we say, okay, how can we accelerate and how can we even better? Because we know even if we think we have achieved something, you're never satisfied. You always need to see how can we be even better. And also many of the things we now are discussing is how can we make the research and the care available for all inhabitants and all in Sweden, not only the ones living in the more around the big cities, but also throughout the whole country, but also for those that are living in more social economic challenging areas. We know that there is also a need to higher the level of involvement there. And we think that through the networking, this is possible, both on a regional, national level, but also moving on to continue to be very active in the international and European initiatives. So one initiative that I want to mention is the ongoing project that is the European Network of Comprehensive Cancer Centers. And this is a EU-funded project through the EU for Health program. It's a 4-year program. EU has put a lot of resources into this to try to build up both comprehensive cancer centers in each member state, but also creating a network of these comprehensive cancer centers. And I think that there is a lot of things going on now, and I'm currently working a lot with the activities between the comprehensive cancer centers in the future. What will be the most important areas to collaborate on? And we see that, of course, things like prevention, we have talked a lot about rehabilitation, survivorship. These are areas that we need to continue working together in research, but also in clinical practice. But there are also areas that there's a lot of people thinking about how can we move better together in, and that is regarding clinical trials, precision medicine and diagnostics. Also, of course, in the whole research field is important. So we are now trying to set up infrastructures to see how can we work together, creating a platform where there is possibility for collaboration and actions in these areas. Another one that you saw also in the first slides here, we have the symbol of ECHOS, and that is establishment of national cancer mission hubs. And all of these, the projects, as I'm saying, a lot of them are talking about networking. And ECHOS is now soon finishing next year. It's been a European through the Horizon program, so it's a coordination and supportive action to try to set up national cancer mission hubs. And the national cancer mission hubs, the aim of them is to bring together different stakeholders, like the pentahelix model, where you work together from the care side and the academic. I would say the comprehensive cancer centers is representing that on a national level, but also with other research institutes. We have the patient organizations, citizens involvement. We have different kind of I would say governmental structures, but also working together with private industry. And this is, at least in our country, not an easy thing to put together. How can we work together? And I think especially in Sweden, the involvement of the private sector has not been easy to work on. So that's why we are now moving forward and are creating our National Cancer Mission Hub to see how can we work together in this pentahelix model. ECHOS launched the first National Cancer Mission Hub in Warsaw, so it was Poland who had the first one, and then we have others coming up. And it's ongoing now. I think that in Sweden at least, we have not had so much of a bottom-up perspective, because if things are going to happen in Sweden in a real way, we need to have kind of the blessing of the government. So the government took a decision in the right direction in June this year that we will have the National Cancer Mission Hub in Sweden. How we will set it up, we are currently working on, so I will not be able to tell you yet. In a year, I hope. But ECHOS is actually being prolonged, so even if it's ending now in next spring, there will be a continuation, and the proposal is just sent in, and we will see. But the aim of ECHOS 2 will be to create a network between these national cancer mission hubs. So I would say, why do we have both comprehensive cancer centers and cancer mission hubs? Because sometimes, you know, all of these abbreviations and with a lot of C's in it, what is it, and so on. And I would say, of course, comprehensive cancer centers, that are excellent centers, combining research, innovation, education, and clinical care. Hubs, I would say, is more of working on a national level, not on a regional level that many of the CCCs are. Some CCCs are also working on national level. But the hubs are more having a real platform of collaboration involving comprehensive cancer centers, but also other actors, as I mentioned before. And it's also about strengthening the national cancer system and also involving what really are the needs of the citizen of this of the country. So I would say that National Cancer Mission Hubs, it is working a lot towards not only those of us that are having the experience of patients, but also the broader citizen perspective, because we know that all of us are or will be affected by cancer. So all of this is kind of trying to move on, to shift from the more system-centered to citizen-centered models, and not only looking at what we built up in like comprehensive cancer centers, but also see what are the more citizen-driven needs, how can we build them into our systems. But also, of course, the most important part of development of care is to integrate the experiences, but also the outcome measures from patients. So we need to do that in a structured and I would say to have a systemic way of doing that, to include that in every part of what we are doing. And we believe, at least we try to see how can we use the model of co-creation, where we sit with the same mandate and have different perspectives working together. And to have this, it's not very easy to see how can we reach out to citizens, how can they participate. So this is also something that the National Cancer Mission Hubs are now testing, how to involve citizens on a broader scale. How can we ensure that the policy we are setting up and making are real, are meeting the needs of the citizens and the public. But also trying to see how can we use the platform to also create models of co-creation and seeing us all as partners, not only receivers or recipients. So I mentioned two of the initiatives now that is ongoing, the network of comprehensive cancer centers and also setting up National Cancer Mission Hubs. And I would say them, together with other EU projects that are now ongoing, is trying to see how can we avoid or continue with the fragmentation across Europe? How can we work better together? Also, of course, to see how we can support and boost innovation, working in new ways. We will talk also about that later today with all of the new both innovations, technologies that are now coming. How can we work better together in these areas and learn from each other? How can we see that learning between countries in all of the fields involved in cancer research and care are addressed, and how can we do that? I think that that is what the platforms really is about, and the networking. But also to strengthen our national frameworks of cancer control and equity, because I think many of the member states in Europe have a cancer control plan or cancer strategy. But how is it really implemented? How is it supported? How is it combined also with kind of decisions on having funding so that this will be reality? These are the questions that we also need to raise, both on a national and on a European level. So looking ahead, I would say that I think that one way of doing this is, of course, to see if we can link the Comprehensive Cancer Center with their excellent research and practice and education for our new generation of cancer researchers and clinicians. How can we link that with a more inclusive citizen perspective of a National Cancer Mission Hub? Because I think that a National Cancer Mission Hub needs to also have representatives from the academia and from the care perspective to also be very relevant for implementing and taking in the citizens' needs. And I would say using the EU's Beating Cancer Plan and the Cancer Mission as a platform is also very important for sustainability. We don't know really what is going to happen in the future, because also there is, of course, I think all of us are aware of the competing priorities for our countries, thank you, and also for EU as a whole. Thank you very much. No, but I think that we all know that there is a lot of competing needs and priorities right now that also, of course, is a threat through the development of better health care and better cancer care, because the priorities will need to be challenged. And I think that that's at least having this perspective, we need to continue to make conferences like this, to make our voices heard, that we cannot forget a better health care and a better cancer care. Even though there are many demands out there, we need also to see that this is a continuation of development and success. And I think that, of course, I hope that Europe will foresee that we will have a more inclusive, better working together, have a citizen-driven cancer care and research in Europe that will accelerate and also meet the demands. Because I think if we don't, we have a huge, huge problem that we will not be able to address, because we know that cancer is not stopping, and we are also getting older, and we have a huge demand from the needs of our citizens and our countries. But we know also that the workforce within cancer care is limited, and also we need to work on how to be more sustainable there. So I see that we have, if we continue in the right way, we have a lot of opportunities, but we also have threats and challenges, and I think the only way is working together with a strong voice. So just to have a conclusion, I would say that if we talk about the definitions, I would say Comprehensive Cancer Center is representing the cancer care, research, innovation and patient involvement. And then the hubs are more on a citizen national level, trying to see the bringing all different stakeholders together and putting in the different perspectives into one kind of table. And I think that if these structures can work together, I think we have the possibility to move on forward. Because I think all of us know that science is challenged today, and we need to know what we are standing on and what we're building on. So science and evidence-based care and working through our networks and society will be one way of succeeding. So I think I will stop here and thank you so much again, and I will be happy to continue the conversation during coffee breaks and so on. Thank you.
Excellent presentation and showing us how the comprehensive cancer care initiative can strengthen or implement even better cancer policy. I think it was a very good example how actually experts can medicine and care of patients and also communication can be better to the society, as you already said that we need to. I think in the past, scientists and medical doctors were living in a kind of bubble, and they didn't actually pay more attention how to communicate research, and I think you have excellent example how we can do it. Thank you again. So,
Nie, otázky. Cez prestávku ona povedala. Povedala, že cez prestávku otázky.
Okay, then now it's my pleasure to introduce our second speaker, Professor Silvia Pastorekova, head of General Director of Biomedical Center and also elected member of Scientific Council, and she will tell us how to what's the role of Slovak Academy of Science and how to translate research and
Thank you, Maika, for your kind invitation. First of all, I'm very glad to be here with you and would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to share with you very fresh insight into the research activities of the Biomedical Research Center, which might be somewhat informative, mainly for our distinguished guests from abroad. So, I don't need to emphasize here that the basic research is a foundation for any development in the cancer care and in the clinical development. We all know that discoveries and understanding cancer biology has led to development of hundreds of new drugs and biomarkers and treatments. Which is well documented in several materials from FDA, from ACCR and other Cancer Research UKs and other communities. But of course, it is not only about the therapy. Research can contribute profoundly to strategies of prevention, to strategies of diagnosis and detection of cancer, and also can influence awareness in public, so can influence somewhat public health if the research is loud enough and can inform the public about the discoveries and about improvements. But of course this requires very responsible training, it requires building on infrastructure, and these are the disparities that every country is facing. It's the quality of human capacities, it's a quality of infrastructure, but of course it's a motivation of the scientists to go forward. And I think Slovakia is really built on enthusiasm and motivation of scientists, which we have to exploit for the benefit of patients. So, what is the role of the Slovak Academy of Sciences in cancer research in Slovakia, and how we can contribute to better cancer care? So, Slovak Academy of Sciences is a self-governing national scientific institution which was legally established in 1953. And at that time already several institutes existed. For example, cancer research already started some years in advance. And Slovak Academy of Sciences consists of almost 50 organizations and institutions and centers, and they cover a very broad spectrum of research disciplines. Particularly, we have a division on physical, space, earth, and engineering sciences, and there are institutions that develop different materials, nanoparticles, and different delivery systems for cancer drugs, of course in collaboration with the biological institutions. There we have life, chemical, medical, and environmental sciences, where there are several institutes making activities in cancer research, and traditionally it was Cancer Research Institute. Almost 70 years ago, they started to perform high-quality research with direct translation to clinical practice, and then it was joined by other institutes like Institute of Experimental Endocrinology, Institute of Virology, Institute of Polymer Sciences, when they developed different polymeric and nanoparticles, nanogels, hydrogels, and different delivery systems for drugs. Chemical Institute, which is focused more on glycomics and glycoproteomics and developing diagnostic system based on detection of different glycomic profiles in cancer patients. And then Center of Biosciences, more focused on resistance in leukemia. And of course, there is a division of social sciences, humanities, arts, and culture. And these institutions start to develop research on consciousness, beliefs, and tendency to, for example, to alternative medicine in cancer patients, how it is connected with the psychology, with the societal situation of those people. And this is a very important part which we believe will be more and more incorporated into the biological or biochemical studies of cancer as it is. And of course, maybe the major part of cancer research is performed at the Biological Research Center of the Slovak Academy of Sciences. So I would like to show you maybe in more detail what we do. So Biomedical Research Center was a pilot project of the Slovak Academy of Sciences in which 5 different institutes of experimental endocrinology, cancer research, clinical and translational research, Institute of Virology, and then later on neurobiology have merged in order to create a critical mass of scientists that would develop interdisciplinary approaches, strengthen collaboration across disciplines. And this, I can say, 10 years after this center was established, that this really created an environment with a different culture when people collaborate and look at the cancer from different points of view. So we see it as a great added value. And of course, it is seen here that during the last 10 years, this is the volume of the publications from the Slovak Academy of Sciences that somehow relate to cancer, and this blue, dark blue, belongs to the Cancer Research Institute, and the other blue components belong to the other institutes of the Biomedical Research Center. So we really create at least a half of the outcomes related to cancer research of the entire Slovak Academy of Sciences. And of course, this would not be possible if we stay alone, but we really rely on a great collaboration with our partners, which come from the Comenius University in Bratislava, from the Faculty of Medicine and ESNU's Faculty of Medicine. Also our great support comes from the National Cancer Institute, which is our partner, and we even share laboratory spaces and share projects to develop collaboration further. Then we also collaborate with the Oncological Institute of St. Elizabeth and a National Institute for Children's Diseases. So the collaboration with clinicians, which are represented here by several our partners, it's really crucial for the development of the topics that are meaningful from the perspective of cancer care and from the perspective of application in cancer. So some facts and figures. So, as I told, we have 5 institutes, 18 research departments that we want to transform very soon to research groups to be more flexible. We have about 450 employees, and out of these employees is a great part of researchers and approximately 60 cancer researchers. I don't count laboratory technicians, 60 cancer researchers. Maybe the number is becoming bigger during the involvement of colleagues from the other institutes into cancer research. So we have approximately 60 PhD students and different PhD programs that allow to acquire education in different areas that are all relevant for cancer research. We have specialized laboratories, including facility for immunodeficient mouse models, laboratory of cytometry and cytoanalytics, radiobiology, bioimaging, immunohistochemistry, outpatient research clinic, which is very important for our move towards practice, Center for Physical Activity with programs for tertiary prevention of cancer survivors, but you will hear more from my colleagues here in the audience. And we also have editorial offices for 3 international scientific journals with a prominent role of Neoplasma Journal, which has a long tradition and publishes very solid research on cancer. So I will just briefly provide very flash insight into the topics that we are dealing with. Is the Department of Molecular Oncology led by Mirka Matušková, but also with great contribution of Boženka Smolková, whom many of you know. Their topics relate to tumor microenvironment research, cancer gene therapy mediated by nanocarriers or extracellular vesicle. Here the big role was played or is being played by Čestmír Altaner, also sitting in the audience, who was leading this research for many decades. Then epigenetic changes associated with metastasis, uveal melanoma and pancreatic carcinoma, and then also resistance in germ cell tumors in collaboration with Professor Mego, and many other topics that were published, and all these lead to identification of new biomarkers, to understanding cancer biology that will somehow modify cancer care and inspire clinical trials. And the latest publication in collaboration with Professor Bruno Sainz also being here. And we are very grateful for all the international collaboration that help us to generate these inputs that will hopefully shape the decision of clinicians in the future. So then the Department of Genetics, headed by Miroslav Chovanec, who is also director of a Cancer Research Institute dealing with drug resistance in genitourinary cancers, DNA damage response and repair, genetics, epigenetics, microRNA, etc. And again, several selected publications dealing with biomarkers with prognostic predictive value, understanding how DNA damage can prognosticate development of germ cell tumors, and also exploring microbiome, gut testis axis. This microbiome is a topic of Sonia Černíková. Next, Janka Jakubikova. I think Janka will have a lecture, so I will not go into the detail. She is dedicated to understanding heterogeneity and subclonal development of hematological malignancies. Again, a lot of important publications that are well reflected also in international society, international scientific community. Then Department of Radiobiology, headed by Associate Professor Igor Belyayev, where they are committed to understanding radiation-induced genomic instability. Again, several publications, many of them in collaboration with the Children's Clinic and with other clinical partners. And of course, from the Institute of Experimental Endocrinology, we will hear more today from Barbara or Josef, I don't know, about how the lifestyle intervention can shape health and quality of life of cancer patient, maybe before with intervention against obesity, which is a contributing factor into some cancers, but also as a tertiary prevention. Again, with a lot of publications. Their primary topic is integrative understanding of human metabolism and processes in human body. So they have plenty of other publications, but these are those that are really closely connected to cancer research. And then at the Institute of Virology is the department when I started, and it's currently head by Eliška Švastova, and we are trying to understand the role of tumor microenvironment, specifically hypoxia and acidosis, in cancer progression with the focus of the enzyme that we discovered in our lab and is now very well-known biomarker of hypoxia and promising cancer biomarker and target. So again, a lot of papers that mostly deal with understanding functional and molecular aspects of this molecule and how it can be incorporated into the diagnostic and potentially in the future therapeutic portfolio in cancer care. So, because it's my heart topic, I hope that you will not against if I just add few words about the development of novel human monoclonal antibodies that target this molecule, which is sitting on the surface of cancer cell, and its expression is associated with poor prognosis of cancer patients. So we have produced a series of monoclonal antibodies, and 2 of them were humanized for clinical development, and these antibodies have, first of all, very strong antibody-dependent cellular cytotoxicity that we want to exploit for attacking tumor cells expressing CA9 and inducing death of these cells, and it seems to work at least in preclinical models. For example, here we see organoids, and we see that the monoclonal antibody is able to block immune suppression caused by hypoxia and acidosis and attract natural killer cells more than in a control organoid. So this all is done with the Slovak small company MAPRO that emerged as a company that would like to lead this development towards immunotherapy in cancer patients, especially in refractory tumors for which there are no other treatments. So, of course, this all would not be possible if we do not have enough partners from whom we can get inspiration, from whom we can learn, and with whom we can strongly collaborate. And these are not only international projects that support collaboration on a research platform, like the one led by Alenka Gabelova, Boženka Smolkova Vision project that has started and that was created thanks to Maria Dushinska. So we all are a closed community which help each other to get towards better future. And thanks to Maria and Alenka, Boženka, this project has converted into long-lasting collaboration with different partners through Eranet projects and Transcan projects, for which we are very grateful, because this is a great opportunity to improve. But of course, since the beginning, we were involved also in the European networks that are shaping our position towards cancer care, toward improvements in the policy decisions and influencing policymakers. So we were present in IPEC projects, And this was since the National Oncology Institution was established. Now the role is overtaken by this institute. And several years ago, we had in Bratislava a similar event where we met experts in pancreatic cancer, and this gave birth to Bratislava Statement, Consensus Recommendation for Improving Pancreatic Cancer Care, which was one of the highlights of our presence in this project. We also participated in ANCAN project, which was dedicated to understand cancer, and then moved the understanding towards practice. And currently, but this will be topic of Sonia Černíková, we participate as a research component, as an academic component in creation of the Comprehensive Cancer Center, about which we heard a lot from Eva, so I will not go into the detail. And again, this is a joint venture with several clinical partners which have a leading role in this CCC, but also we see that we can contribute through our research developments. And finally, collaboration with Cancer Research Foundation. This is our partner over the year through the collaboration which with Cancer Research Institute. Actually, the foundation was established from the activity and at the Cancer Research Institute long ago. So we are very grateful for this collaboration. We collaborate at different activities through scientific workshops in oncology, where we contribute by teaching young secondary school students in collaboration with foundation. We also co-organize competition of young oncologists, and we are very grateful that thanks to foundation we were able to receive a lot of important components of our research infrastructure. And this is really great contribution that help us to overcome reduced funding or absence of funding for the infrastructure, which is typical for Slovakia, which was typical in the past and is becoming again nowadays. And finally, outlook and challenges. Of course, our primary goal is to focus on quality and relevance of cancer research. And there we have established the International Scientific Advisory Board with Professor Bruno Sainz as a member, who gave us advices how to move forward towards the quality and better research culture in our institute. We also are partners of COARA, which is a coalition for evaluation of research assessment, which is very important, not to look at the numbers, to look at the content and quality. And we are also partner of Alliance for Life, which is the European network of CEE countries that is aimed to close the gap between Eastern and Western countries in research quality through improving quality of research governance. We also are very keen to develop and sustain international collaborations, which are very, very important for us, and strengthen collaboration with clinical experts in Slovakia and abroad. Of course, involve patients, and I'm very thankful for this event, particularly for the meeting yesterday and today, because we got closer to the patients, to Amazonki organization, and we really plan to connect more closely and really listen to their advices, how to focus and where to focus our research, and what from their point of view might be important to look at. And also, important aspect, we are keen to educate young researchers to better understand both biological and clinical aspects, and we discussed with Professor Mego to introduce interchange of PhD students between clinic and the laboratories, so that the people, young people, understand both sides of the cancer care story and cancer research story. And of course, implement advanced model, develop interdisciplinary approaches, and important thing, disseminate public awareness, also with the help of the foundation, about cancer prevention, importance of physical activity to improve quality of life before, during, and after therapy. And I, of course, see a great help from our experts from Center for Physical Activity and the department of that is dealing with the integrative physiology. And at the end, I hope that you allow me to use the conclusion from the Cancer Research UK, that investing in cancer research saves lives and delivers economic benefits. And this is becoming more and more important as cancer cases rise over the years. So we are all doing really important thing, and I believe that the events like the event today, but also other conferences and meetings and close collaboration will help us to go towards the mission to help cancer patients. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Silvia, for this nice overview of cancer research in Biomedical Center. I also highlighting some of the excellent groups in these institutions dealing with cancer research. I hope there will be lots of discussions during coffee break. We are a little bit running out of time, so I would like to invite Professor Peter Valkovic, Chair of the Scientific Board of Ministry of Health and also Vice Dean of Medical Faculty, and he will tell us about vision for better care in Slovakia, cancer care.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation, dear colleagues and friends. I'm not a politician. Okay. Allow me to begin with a brief note. Given the quality and depth of the previous speakers today, there is a good chance that I may, in some areas, repeat points that have already been well articulated by others. However, I believe this repetition reinforces the urgency and shared understanding of what we stand in cancer care and research both in Slovakia and across Europe. Let's begin with a simple but deeply human question. If 1 in 6 families in Europe is affected by cancer this year, whose story is it really? It's yours, mine, all of ours. So as a clinical neurologist, not an oncologist, and someone privileged to represent both the academic sphere, Comenius University and the scientific board as advisory organ of the Ministry of Health, I am keenly aware that the cancer's reach is profound societal. It impacts families, communities, and exerts immense pressure on health systems. Cancer care and research cannot be isolated because cancer mobilizes every discipline, every institution, and challenges every country. Across Europe, the numbers are sobering. In 2020, almost 3 million Europeans received a diagnosis of cancer. Tragically, 1.3 million lives, including many young people, were lost. Unless we act, cases will rise by 24% by 2035. Worse, Slovakia stands out with the 3rd highest cancer mortality in the European Union, almost 20% above the average, and among the highest for breast, cervical, and colorectal cancers, highlighting the critical need to enhance our screening and early detection. However, not all is gloom. Progression in prevention, including tobacco control and nutrition policies, digital and genetic innovations, and EU-wide collaboration offers a real hope. EU Beating Cancer Plan is not just aspirational. It is coordinated by investment in data, biobanking, screening, and research. It shows us that progress anywhere in Europe lifts standards everywhere. What are we doing in Slovakia? We have a robust evidence-based national cancer program, a strategic map for prevention, screening, care and research. We have a vision. Mission Health targets 3 disease groups: oncology, brain diseases, cardiology. Underscoring where our national efforts is focused. Many here have contributed to new screening pathways, survival care, and real scientific advances. Notably, the Ministry of Health in 2019 had a onco call led by Special Institute for Research and Development that ignited research on diagnostics and personalized medicine. But our road has not been straight. The Institute's sudden closure has cost us continuity and slowed research translation. Screening uptake for breast, cervical and colorectal cancer still lags behind the behind the EU's 90% goal. Prevalence and mortality are higher in southern and southwestern areas, also the Danubian lowland, where incidence is over 20% above national average. Disturbingly, while overall cancer mortality fell by 20% in men and 10% in women in the decade from 2011, recent years have seen rising mortality from breast and pancreatic cancer, especially in lower income and rural districts. As cancer prevalence increases, the challenge grows to provide comprehensive survival support and long-term care. Why do patients slip through the cracks? The answer is part systematic. Our registries, biobanking, and data platforms are incomplete, underfinanced, and not yet fully interoperable. Without robust, real-time data, we cannot ensure equitable access or continuous quality improvement. What stands in our way? Systemic instability, from political change and fragmented governance to funding disruptions, creates uncertainty. When the politic or health professionals lose trust, then technology and biobanking investments are interrupted. The cost is counted in life lost, not just euros. Socio-economic gaps remain particularly wide. In women, low educational status doubles overweight prevalence, contributing to risk patterns. Yet we have real tools to use, the EU's new funding streams, like EU for Health, Horizon, and we are very curious about what comes on. The digitalization initiatives in the Beating Cancer Plan and advances in personalized medicine. Science provides a roadmap. Our challenge is to make coordinated, strategic and sustained use of these resources together across professions and sectors. How do we translate hope into reality? Across the EU, a new gold standard is taking shape. Comprehensive cancer centers, accredited by organizations like OECI, where research, multidisciplinary care, survival support and digital health converge. This isn't just about bricks and mortar, but about integrating science, partnership, patient voices and education with equity at the center. The EU target is that 90% of Europeans have access to such centers, and the screening converge matches this number by the end of this year. For Slovakia, this means rapidly strengthening and connecting registries and biobanks, investing in robust digital infrastructure for data and care management, enhancing early detection programs with special focus on hard-to-reach regions and vulnerable populations, supporting lifelong learning for oncology professionals and ensuring partnerships with patients and survivors at every steps, and aligning survivor care, mental health and financial reintegration efforts with EU best practice. So, on this World Cancer Research Day, Slovakia stands at crossroads. Will we stay among the countries most affected, or will we lead the way in turning knowledge into care and the care into hope? Only together we can answer this question for next generation. So, dear friends, dear colleagues, thank you for listening, and above all, thank you for your caring.
Thank you, Professor Valkovic, for the vision of care, healthcare and cancer care in Slovakia. I would like now to invite Professor Sonia Čierníková, coordinator of ECOS and other activities in Slovakia leading to comprehensive cancer care and mission hub.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be here and to present like a practical steps, what we could see from previous speakers, especially from the Ministry of Health expert we have a vision here in Slovakia, and now I will introduce you practical steps, what we are doing to improve oncology in Slovakia regarding to comprehensive cancer care, and I will present you Slovakia's path to comprehensive cancer care and national cancer mission hubs. Thanks to all my colleagues before, so I will not repeat the important data and information we have already heard. But from this slide, we could see, we all are aware that situation in Europe regarding cancer is challenging, I would say. We could see all those millions of people that are newly diagnosed and that lost their life because of cancer. Moreover, because of treatment is getting better, so we can treat patients, and one of the challenges is also cancer survivors, because we have now around 30 million of cancer survivors in Europe, and we have to take care of them and to only bring our efforts for improvement of cancer treatment, but also to improve their quality of lives. And from this slide, the only thing I would like to show is to look at, yes, here we go, to look at the situation. So the incidence in cancer incidence in Europe is almost the same. There are not so many differences. It's very high, really a little bit higher in Western countries and Northern EU countries. Sometimes it's because the screening strategies are going much better, so we can get higher numbers of incidents in these countries. But what I wanted to show is the situation here, especially we could see Slovakia. The situation in cancer mortality is really not equally distributed. And here I will present some data. These data are not from National Oncology Register, because we have data from 2014 regarding cancer incidence, but we still have some data about the incidence from health insurance companies. So we could see that the cancer incidence in Slovakia is roughly between 30,000 till 35,000 new cases per year, and we have data from Statistical Office of the Slovak Republic that we have around 30,000 cancer-related deaths. And here we could see Yes, we've been on the 3rd place regarding cancer mortality in Europe, but the latest data show from this year from OSCI report that we are on the 5th place. So there are 4 countries, only 4 countries in Europe regarding cancer mortality that are in front of us. And the situation in cancer mortality is very distributed, regionally distributed across Slovakia. I will not repeat how Europe's Beating Cancer Plan is a wonderful commitment. It's a political commitment to put all our efforts and to fight together as a European Union and associated countries against cancer. And Europe's Beating Cancer Plan brings us a lot of opportunities, EU-funded projects, and is also tackling the disparities and disequities regarding the cancer care and research that is really obvious, especially in Central Europe, Eastern countries. And one of the tools Europe's Beating Cancer Plan is using for funding the projects or funding the innovation and research and mission-driven initiatives is EU Mission on Cancer is on Horizon, is within the Horizon Europe project scheme, and the mission goal is by the end 2030 that more than 3 million of European lives will be saved, and the patients will live strong, better and longer. Okay, so we have already heard that Slovakia has its own first national oncology program, which was established or endorsed by government in 2018 with the first action plans, and then we have a new action plans for 2021 and 2025. So we see that we are on the end of for these actions plans, but I will show you that we are drafting now new oncology program for 2026-2030, and we will see how it will be endorsed. For the action plans we have now in national oncology programs, there are 5 important areas for cancer improvement, and this is very important from us that we could see from OECD EU country cancer profile that was published this year in February, that our national oncology program is on a high degree aligning with Europe's Beating Cancer Plan, especially in those 3 important topics. And then we have some reservations in other topics, but we will put them into the new national oncology program. And here are the EU projects. We are, as Slovakia, participating regarding the cancer care and research and all those CSA actions, as we've heard already today, to bring the policy and to cooperate all the actions that are actually going in Europe with the initiatives going inside the country. So the first one initiatives, when we've been talking about Comprehensive Cancer Center and building the Comprehensive Cancer Center in Slovakia, it's because of the first project we've been interacted in or participated was the CRANE, which is dedicated to flagship number 5 of Europe's Beating Cancer Plan, that by 2025 each member state will have its own CCC, and by 2030 90% of eligible cancer patients will have an access to comprehensive cancer care. And what it means, we heard a lot about comprehensive cancer centers today, but what it really means, to be comprehensive in cancer care. So there are several accreditation schemes for accrediting CCC. We have OSCI accreditations that they have accredited 100 centers, mostly in Europe, but also outside the European region. Then German Cancer Society is establishing or accrediting German comprehensive cancer centers. NIH in USA is accrediting their own scheme for CCC. But all they share the common vision or common concepts. So the CCC needs to have a really strong governance, needs to take care of all cancer continuum. And what is important, there's this difference between cancer centers and comprehensive cancer centers, that there is fully integrated research, innovation, and education into the clinical care. So we've been part of this huge project that was called CRANE, and the mission was to prepare all administrative efforts or documents for building the first European network of comprehensive cancer centers. And yes, we've been dealing to prepare like a criteria and standards for accreditation of European CCC. And after this very rigorous process, we came up with 7 documents that were dealing with criteria standards for European CCCs. These criteria were dedicated to research, innovation, prevention, integration of research and care, education, training, governance, and of course the criteria for cancer care. This is very important. That patient involvement was an integral part of developing the criteria across all the topics we've been working on. And the added value of what we heard today also about all these EU actions is the collaboration and networking. So in CRANE, we build up, or we try to assign some focus, some areas for networking, and we show these 13 areas that could be a part of great collaboration between European Network of Comprehensive Cancer Centers. Okay, so here we go now. So Eva Jolie has already mentioned the huge project that has a financial over 100 million of euros, and is joining 163 partners across Europe. You could see all those lightning dots. These are the cancer centers that will bring together. It's going to be around 100 European cancer centers that will together put into this network that they will cooperate and collaborate. Okay, so yes, so we are in this project very much engaged in several work packages as Slovakia, especially for piloting of first CCC in Slovakia, that also about capacity building for different areas of criteria and standards. We are taking part also in governance of a whole network of CCCs, and what is important for us is this networking. So we are part of VP 8 work package, which Eva Jolie is also a co-leader of this work package, where we will look at all those networks we really need in Slovakia, like develop European clinical trials engines, then about acceleration and precision diagnostics, elevating cancer research, improving of survivorship programs. So these are the areas we are going to work and collaborate. And yes, this is one of the collaboration. I am a core member of this group, which is dedicated to unlocking cancer research collaboration and synergies across all the European network of comprehensive cancer centers. Yeah, and here I would like to present, I will little skip because of time, but I would like to present our path, how we start to think about bringing or accrediting Comprehensive Cancer Center in Slovakia. So our first milestone was probably this stakeholder forum that was held on the Ministry of Health together with the Ministry of Health by the time, and we put on this during this stakeholder, we try to put all relevant partners from all different areas of cancer and try to map the current state and challenges in establishing of national comprehensive cancer centers. We have panel discussions with the representations from Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education. There were oncology expert researchers, of course patients, and also the governmental council, so the healthcare committee from our parliament. So we try to put the state of our current state and then the vision and how we can proceed in this process. Very helpful for bringing comprehensive cancer care and infrastructure in Slovakia is our participation in a CCI for EU project, which is Comprehensive Cancer Infrastructures for the European Union. And here, Sylvia Pastorkova has already mentioned, Slovakia is represented in this project by Biomedical Research Center of Slovak Academy of Sciences as the only OSCI associated member in Slovakia. And this project is focusing on comprehensive cancer centers, but mainly to strengthen and improve research within these cancer care structures, which will help reduce inequalities in healthcare. So first step we've done by our participation in this project was to fill out our maturity model, our deep dive maturity model. So we done a self-assessment, what is our current state in different, it was actually 8 topics we've been filling out the forms, and here there were 38 comprehensive cancer infrastructures around Europe that have been trying to get big deep dives interventions. Here we are in the circle. We cannot see all those others because it's anonymous. So our maturity of our comprehensive cancer infrastructure is below the 50%. So we really need a deep dive, and we've been very happy to be one of only 10 from 38 proposals that we got targeted deep dive interventions. And for the intervention, our on-site visits of deep dive team was selected National Cancer Institute, and this deep dive team that came here consisted of 9 very well-known experts on different areas of care, and this team was led by Simon Oberst, who is director for quality and accreditation for the huge OSCI accrediting scheme. And we have selected several teams for interventions that we thought could be the most relevant for us. So first one was formation of CCC, then building comprehensive cancer infrastructures not only in Bratislava but around the whole Slovakia, and defining breast and colorectal cancer patient pathways. Yes, so we got 3 huge deep dives visits where this oncology expert visited us. The first one was in December 2024, then in March, and then we finished our deep dive intervention a week ago in September 2025. Yes, we've been working on this topic, how to accreditate comprehensive cancer center and infrastructure. So we made a lot of discussions behind the round tables. This was discussion at the Presidium of Slovak Academy of Sciences, but also at the National Oncology Institute, National Cancer Institute. But we travel all around the Slovakia to see how the situation is, different regions, how we could put and integrate and coordinate all the actions we are trying to put on the table. So we've been also in Eastern Oncology Institute in Košice, then we visited Banská Bystrica hospital, like in the middle region, and then also we've been invited to Martin to see biobank, a national biobank and research capacity in Martin together with the SNAU's medical faculty. We've done a huge SWOT analysis, what are our weakness, strength, and how we can go further. And this is the part of map that was coming from all this discussion and all this work, and this map is part of National Oncology Program, new National Oncology Program, when we will try to build comprehensive cancer center with all aligning partners, and then to really connect this comprehensive cancer center with region like in the middle and eastern part of Slovakia. The last topic we've been doing by deep dive intervention is this bringing or defining precise patient pathways in Slovakia. So here we have the team for breast cancer patient pathway, where researchers, clinicians, patients, and all different data analysts were working together to define how is our path to bring breast cancer pathway, and this is actually I called it like it looks like an electromode, but these are all the hubs that are really important to define in the pathway. So it means there are inputs from screening where the breast cancer patients are diagnosed. Then we have like very early diagnosis. So we map the time from, for example, biopsy to first histologic results. Then there is a huge thing about MDT, so multidisciplinary team and their results. And the hugest hub is cancer treatment regarding the decision of multidisciplinary team. And then we have a follow-up and survivorship program. So this is very helpful to see all the process in a scheme, and we are very thankful for Dresden Technical University who is helping us, Dr. Peggy Richter. She is renowned for building this type of cancer pathways in Europe, so she is helping us a lot with this, and now we are doing colorectal cancer pathway. And Eva Jolie has already mentioned the ECOS project. So this project we are also participating in, and it's more about cancer research and about more the policy, how we can put together all the relevant stakeholders so we can have enough power to make some policy decisions that will bring improvements on local, regional, and national level. So yes, this is the project in brief. We have heard a lot about it, and here are the partners from Slovakia in ECOS projects. There is Slovak Cancer Research Foundation and National Cancer, National Oncology Institute. And the first thing was we've been mapping what are the possibilities for national cancer mission hubs across the Europe, if there are some hubs or some hub-like structures. So this is the map we came up. And yes, so we've been dedicated that Slovakia has kind of hub-like structure that can deal with all the things are important to for bringing these stakeholders together. And this is the slide I chose from Hugo Suarez, who is coordinator of this ECOS project, and he was here in Bratislava telling us about our opportunities, how we can build this national cancer hub in Slovakia and what it could bring for us for improvements. And then, because all is about knowledge sharing, about the importance of connections, so we didn't have so many experiences with National Cancer Mission Hub. So together with Dr. Sedlak, we've been on knowledge exchange program in Ipoporto to see how the hubs are creating, what we have to do to bring it together. So because of running of time, I will skip some slides, but we can discuss a little later. This is a pentahelix. I just wanted to show how the pentahelix is working in National Cancer Mission Hub. So it brings 5 sectors together to solve specific cancer topics. So yeah, and the last topic I would like to mention, it's the end of my presentation, some slides. It's about patient involvement and empowerment in comprehensive cancer care. It's a very important topic, which is relevant in many European countries, and we are, I would say, on the beginning of bringing this agenda. And first of all, we've done a big expert roundtable at the Ministry of Health, where we put together all cancer patient organization, the ministerial workers, and then also Ministry of Health and all relevant oncology experts to discuss what is the patient, what is the importance of patient voice, how their experiences can help us to bring to improve healthcare system and care regarding the experiences that they have. And at the National Cancer Institute, there was established first patient council. The first meeting was in October last year, when the management of cancer hospital is sitting together with the patients and talking about their needs and how they can improve it to make a safe and supported environment for all the patients. So this is the first patient council already established in Slovakia. And the last thing is about patient involvement research. In research, we have already heard a little bit about it, and in this huge network of Comprehensive Cancer Center, we have a network that is, or group that is dedicated for research, for networking of research. And part of this group is working group on patient involvement in cancer research. I am co-leading with my Norwegian partners. So we will work on this important agenda, not only to bring patient voices to cancer care, but also to research, because it's very important. And here we could see where everywhere it's important to bring patients' voices and patients' perspective, user perspective, from the beginning of planning of cancer research proposals. So there are many questions from the researcher side, but also from the patient side. Why is important to bring patients? What is their role in cancer research? And from research side, if it could be too time-consuming to bring patients, how can they talk to them? How can they find them? So these are all the topics we will work together on in the next 4 years. Yes, user involvement, all steps where we can put patients into research proposals. And this is 2 last slides, because today's conference is about survivorship, about cancer research and about survivorship. So I borrowed this slide from Eva Maria Stromholz that was speaking at the Roundtable of Breast Cancer Series in Brussels, and she said, don't look at the tumor, look at the patient. So this brings a more holistic approach for all what cancer patient really needs. This is an AI-generated picture when you say what a cancer treatment means. But you can see the patient is sitting behind. Everybody is taking care of the tumor, but the patient and its real or their real needs are sometimes a little behind. So all we must ensure that patients are not reduced to their diagnosis. Yes, and these are only highlights in this topic that we are having two very important events about cancer survivorship in next day. So we will have open and expert discussion about cancer, which is dedicated for cancer patients. It's going to be in Slovak in the beginning of October, and we will be very openly and honestly about what the cancer means for cancer patients and their families. And then we have another, but this is an expert meeting, conversation about survivorship in cancer care, where we will have here experts from Indiana University Simon Comprehensive Cancer Center in November, and we will bring our survivorship programs together with them. And this is the action plan, new action plans for national oncology programs for 2026-2030, and all these initiatives, all the things I've been talking are already in drafted, are being included in the new national cancer plan, and as well as quality of cancer patient and survivorship programs are there. And so we are together, we are better to improve oncology, and only together we can make a difference in such a hard field as cancer beating is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for a very nice overview of all the activities and effort in Slovakia. Let's hope that it will be soon Comprehensive Cancer Center established. And our last speaker is Dr. Daniela Svietlovská, the head of Clinical Trial Department at National Cancer Institute, and she will talk us about her 30 years of experience.
Thank you. Thank you very much for organizing the team to invite me for this World Cancer Research Day. And dear ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you a few words about Department of Clinical Trials in National Cancer Institute, which celebrate 30 years of anniversary of establishment this year. As we've heard, oncology diseases are a very important problem. There were 20 million new cases worldwide, and it's the first leading cause of death for the last year. So there is unmet need to find more efficient, more tolerable drugs to improve patients' quality, not to disaster patients with the treatment. So research is needed. Research was supported in our hospital by Department of Clinical Pharmacology. Dr. Halko participated in creation of first medicinal act in Slovakia and also worked as an expert for health authority. At this department worked also Dr. Chalchanova, and then support for clinical trials were done at internal clinic by various employees. 30 years ago, Associated Professor Korec, after his stay in US, established a Department of Clinical Trials as a professional support. Dr. Chalchanova became the first head of department. We support every clinical trials in our hospital, in non-commercial and industry sponsored as well. We have a very close collaboration with European Organization of Cancer and Research, established in Brussels. We performed about 30 studies Dr. Švancarova wrote her first protocol, which were used in international study in the Europe, and there was international meeting in Slovakia. We are active in sarcoma group, lymphoma group, infectious disease group, and previously genitourinary group, and also we are active in quality of life questionnaires. For non-commercial trials that are investigator-initiated in National Cancer Institute, it's mainly focused on testicular cancer and breast cancer. Associated Professor Mardiak tried to improve his patients' cure, and he wrote many protocols. At his work continues Professor Mego, who works very hard, and he also wrote a lot of protocols for testicular cancer and for breast cancer as well. Also, there are many biomedical researches focused on probiotics. Our department also supports testicular cancer patients program. We give patients informed consent and quality of life questionnaires. And now we are running a new academic research which was based on preclinical research done at Slovak Academy of Science by Dr. Kučerová and Professor Mego, and because the results of the study are promising, it now tests if it also works in clinics. The study is based on Dornase alpha, which showed promising results and break resistance for cisplatin, who is the main drug to treat the testicular patients. The non-interventional studies have the same, must fulfill the same criteria as the sponsor trials, so we prepared all the necessary documents and studies approved by health authority, who helped us a lot with the many items, and ethical committee, and financial support of monitoring is supported by NOE. Me and my colleague are able to directly report safety reporting to EMEA. We passed the training and successfully did the test. This is the compulsory for running any clinical trial. So if, I don't know if there are other in Slovakia that have this opportunity. Industry-sponsored trials are also very important. They bring us innovative treatment. As for the study comparator, which is the standard of treatment in Europe and will not be given to the patient and in everyday life, and innovative treatment are all covered by sponsors, so the patient can receive innovative treatment or the standard that is Europe, and we don't know if the insurance company will cover it. We can see that Slovakia has a rate of availability of the medicine 9. European average is 25. Poland is also 25. Czech Republic is 36. So this is the way how to bring the patients the treatment and to save public finances. So this is our proud. Our ethics committee approved from 1999 700 research biomedical protocols and clinical trials, and from 2000, unfortunately I don't have information between 95 and 2000. I started to work in the department from 2000. We performed more than 300 interventional clinical trials more than 1,600 patients received interventional treatment, and more than 2,000 patients were screened. We perform every phase, mainly phase 3 and 2, but also we had 8 phase 1, some 1 and 2, and about 12 phase 4 studies. Clinical trials in our hospital are mainly focused on breast cancer, colorectal cancer, ovarian cancer, testicular, lung, prostate, and melanoma. We perform also hematologic malignancies trial and infectious diseases trial as the patients are immunocompromised. This is the responsibility of our department. It's focused on patient, healthcare professional, and sponsor. And we also support ethics committee. Those 700 biomedical researches were approved and prepared by our department, and many other responsibilities we support. This is our outpatient clinic where nurses from my department do the interventions. The outpatient clinic was established according to idea of Professor Mego. Legislation, there were some meetings at Ministry of Health. I was coordinator of platform in 2014 and 15. We mapped the situation. There were stakeholders meetings also during the later years. And this is my proud that with the stakeholders we established Ministry of Order. Also, this is order. There is written that it's non-compulsory. It depends on the resources of the hospital. But it gave a chance to add into his hospital organizations to hospitals clinical trials department or biomedical research departments. This is the first time that it was done, and there is a legal establishment for having the research in the hospital. After 3 months, 7 new departments of biomedical researches appeared, and also Department of Clinical Trials. I think there were 13. What is needed? We still need the catalog of professional activities for the jobs that are doing the clinical research, and we need to support education. Clinical trials brings to patient new promising treatment, gives access to financially demanding innovative treatment for patient. It saves public resources. It applies the most accurate diagnostic and treatment criteria and the most modern, and also PR for the hospital. The trust for experimental treatment is very high in the other countries. American president received anti-COVID treatment. At the time there was none approved, and it was the best he could receive. So Department of Clinical Trials supports clinical trials, industry-sponsored as well as academic, approves the quality of clinical research, possibility to realize more trials, and we can give innovative treatment to the patient and save some public resources. I would like to thank to my colleagues, Alžbeta Jančíková and Andrejka Krišová, that I work with them for 20 years. Magistra Viglarska is also working 20 years in our hospital and joined a few years before our department, and we have new colleagues that I am happy that I can collaborate with them. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for very nice and timing presentation. As we are running out of time, we will have now 15 minutes break, so we are back 11:15. Thank you very much to all excellent speakers and all the information we received.